Z. Compared to them, I am a Marine. And I'm not even a Marine.
Did you ever think about joining the military?
No, I was very lucky. I was came of draft age the year before they stopped the draft.
The year before?
Yeah, 1973, I was 17, and kids were still going to Vietnam, although we were wrapping the war up.
But not at 17.
But I would have had to have registered the next
So when you
year
were
for the
18?
draft. Normally, you had to register for the draft at 18. They stopped it the very year I turned 18.
Before the headlines, before the spin, this was what real conversation about war and leadership sounds like. Bill Maher and Cheryl Hines talk about lessons of Vietnam, Trump's attitude towards war, and the danger of the media echo chamber. No shoutings, no bias, just context.
So I came, very lucky. I came of age right when you didn't have to do it.
Were you panicked about it or stressed? Or no? You were just thought, this is what it is?
No, because by 73, we were only withdrawing troops.
Okay.
We were not sending new troops. We had signed the treaty. Nixon, who was the best salesman before Trump, who ran in 68 on the pledge of, I will end the war in Vietnam, and did not, and then ran again in 72 on the same pledge, but then did, or it just came to an end. No, he pulled out. And then, of course, the Vietnamese took over, the North Vietnamese took over, so the whole thing was pointless. But I was not worried about it at that age because we were drawing the war.
It was winding down.
So it was just the perfect age. You want to become military fodder right after a war.
Because it's going to take a while for something to generate.
Right, generations usually take a pause before they go back. Again, one good thing about Trump, he really, really does not like war.
This is what stands out. Maher isn't endorsing a side. He's recognizing something rare, restraint. Most political talk rewards outrage, not reflection. But here, they acknowledge that leadership isn't about who yells the loudest. It's about who avoids unnecessary conflict.
Which I love that about him.
I kind of do, because I don't want war either, and most of them are unnecessary.
I agree.
I mean, he took a long time when I had that dinner with him talking about the pictures he sees coming from Ukraine, the stuff that doesn't get out on the news. It's like raw footage of bodies in the field.
Yes.
And you could tell it really moved him. He's like, I do not want to see this, and I'm the kind of guy who can fix this. At least, he's never not going to be Trump. So, of course, he's like, I solved 9 wars. And, okay, even if it's half that, it's still good that we're solving them and not starting them.
That's the thing that I find that I really like about President Trump when he talks about wars and talks about Ukraine. And he talks about Ukraine and Russia, and he will say they're losing people on both sides, and it's not just Ukraine is losing people. It's not just Russia is losing people. He sees like both sides. This is a true loss for both sides, and you can feel it from him when he talks about that loss. I mean, I do.
Problem with that one is that he's up against truly the devil. Putin is as close to Satan as you can get. I mean, he's a cold, dead-eyed shark in the water, and he plays Trump. He's like, oh, sure, let's have a peace meeting, Alaska, sure, great. What a great place to meet and have lunch, and and he left before the lunch. Did you know that?
No.
And Trump.
But I doubted that he's flying to Alaska to have lunch. Like, I can't wait to get there to see what they're serving for lunch. That was probably like last on his list of things to do there.
Yeah, but I mean, he was supposed to stay for the lunch. That just tells you something about Putin and how he thinks of the United States and how we can deal with them, which is like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a piece, if not all, of Ukraine, and I'm going to string you along, and I'll go to your summit meetings, and we'll pretend to talk, and then I won't even stay for the lunch. Trump stayed for the lunch. He said to the waiter, how's the blubber? And the waiter said, we serve everybody.
Come on.
No, but...
By the way, if I can just see, like, journalists out there going, Bill Maher said, I'll stay for the blubber.
Of course.
Like when you're talking to people, are you thinking
They're just the worst. They only, because they don't, I just did a whole piece on this, because the Fox News and the New York Post printed half of an editorial I did. They went all over town on how great I was to take on the left and completely left off the part where I was taking on the right. And that's what they always do. That's every week. So if
well,
I
but-
if I
and
started
it goes
to
both
work,
ways.
And that's the key phrase. It goes both ways. Media bias isn't one-sided. It's a full circle of selective framing. When conversation like this happens, they remind people that context still matters.
it goes both. I said that too.
Because by the way, I was
Yes, it goes both ways.
with my niece Kaylee, and we were looking at headlines and whatever, and some people are still talking about The View, and it's interesting the coverage of that appearance on The View because a big part of people's criticism of Bobby is that he's not a medical doctor, and on The View, I said 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been medical doctors. So you can see when somebody prints an article, if they don't print my response, but just print, whoever said your husband's not qualified, he's not even a doctor. You see, oh, okay, they're only printing that side. They're not printing the response, and it's just like what you're talking about.
I mean, I did a lot of editorials during the pandemic that the woke did not like, that were more on Bobby's page.
Okay, I just did another spit take. That's number 2.
I was not on, I mean, I am not an anti-vaxxer. He sat here and we talked for a very long time about very many topics. He cried
He cried?
when he was here, yes.
That's the difference between noise and nuance. It really does go both ways. If you want to hear more real conversation without the outrage loop, subscribe to the Unfiltered Take. No clickbait, no spin, just straight conversation.